So from a mind transformation perspective right now, what is our vision? Right? Where do we want to, with all that's happening, right, where we see ourselves heading? So that's our vision. We see that the world is going to move into one part of it is moving into a smart technology world, energy changing, transportation changing. Technology is going to change the whole way we use resources, energy and resources. On the other side, we have to be able to strike a balance with what's happening in the planet as well. Because the planet, as now we are seeing in terms of climate report and everything, those things are collapsing. How do we actually be able to create a smart green world, not separate but together? And so where people who are able to adapt to change, the change that we've been talking about so far, to have a community of people like that, so that we can see a synergy between man, technology, and planet. That's the vision of mind transformation. That's where we're heading. We want to be part of making this world come true. And in order to make that come true, our mission is to develop VUCA fit processes, training, coaching, facilitation, methodologies, and so on, to empower individuals and organizations to build a collaborative world at all levels. Collaborative world, collaborative society, collaborative organizations, and to build what we call a life-supportive world. That means not life-depletive, life-destructive world, but everything that we do, we strive to make it more lasting, more sustainable, that the world can survive and evolve. And that's our mission, not only on the planetary level, not on a biological level, but actually also at a human level, that we can actually live life in a way that life is supportive of us. So that's our mission. And the mind transformation consulting is now coming to force, coming to reality. We are making it happen. Just to make sure that we are clear on the same page, we have been doing, you and I have been in consulting training and with OD and so on and so forth. For me, it's about, I've been in business for 25 years and very actively in that space for the last maybe about 15 to 18 years. I'm still in touch with it, but I guess you are much more into that space right now. And so being as a lot of people think of mind transformation as a school or an institution, a knowledge institution. We have been around, as I said, 25 years, and out of 25 years, we have people right now who have become an expert themselves. They have evolved with the NLP, evolved with the things that they know. One of them is a case in point right now, and that's you
yes.
being part of an incredible, valuable resource in the society, in businesses in Singapore. But there are many others like you who are doing, and we are able to pull from this group of people to form a consulting to provide a series of services. So the areas of work that we are poised to deliver, in big chunks, will be consulting, coaching, training. So maybe you can take it away with the next part.
Sure. So I think consulting, our core team right now, we have a suite of services and experience to actually provide business management consulting, meaning that looking at business planning, helping companies establish their strategic goals, and also strategic HR consulting, where we kind of revamp the whole initiative to bring it to more like how do you future-proof and build capabilities based on your upcoming plans and goals. Or setting up HR function from scratch for those SMEs or startups that did not have a HR or a strategic HR. They can always come to MT Consulting to actually inquire.
Yeah, and I think that I've got some friends. As I said, I'm deal primarily with MNCs, but there are some friends who are actually been in business for the last 20 years. So they're considered still SMEs.
Yes.
SMEs. But SMEs do not have a HR function.
Yes, because primarily HR is a leadership responsibility. So every company can set up a company without HR.
Yeah. And then what happens is that if you don't have a HR function, the likelihood is that L&D, right, learning and development, is actually on an ad hoc basis. And that is, I think, is very detrimental in the VUCA world that we are talking about right now, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
You don't know what you don't know. You don't know that things that you're working is actually making your business more and more difficult to compete, or some of the processes that you're doing right now is just way too cumbersome, and so on and so forth. So you need to have an outsider perspective, but how do we do it in a way that's cost effective, right? So without paying a full-time payroll and setting up the department, they can actually consider using us or you to be able to be some kind of a non-permanent payroll, but on a strategic investment, dealing with a very important aspect of their L&D, or important aspect of managing the talent of the organization, or to be able to assess the competencies in certain areas and building an infrastructure of their HR functions and roles. And that means someone who has got the background that could come in without you taking on the burden of one very expensive payroll throughout the year, in that sense.
Yes.
So they can consider that in a sense.
Yeah. So it's like HR, strategic HR director on demand. Kind of
on
thing.
Demand.
Yes, on demand. Yeah, really. My client use me that way. And I also have the privilege to manage the whole training budget for some companies where they kind of like outsource the whole training L&D to me and my team. And we kind of run a whole series of training workshops and sometimes coupled with coaching that is a lot more strategic and aligned to what they truly want to build in terms of capabilities. Yeah.
And big part of my transformation, the direction that we are heading right now is we're still in, as we mentioned just now, to bring out the best in people, the personal development side of things. We call it self-mastery, but it's very synonymous to almost this idea about coaching as well. So we have now professionalized life and executive coaching. So because we've been doing for the last 7 to 8 years, professionalizing, I've been involved in doing coaching on a personal level with people, and also training executives in organizations to do coaching. However, to turn it into a professional certification, right, with the blessing of the International Association of Coaching Institutes, which is based in Germany. Because of that, right now we are heading in the direction. So what happens is that we have a stream of people coming into our program because they want to be able to move in that direction. And some of these people are very, very competent and very experienced. They may not have the certification, but they have the experience and they work. They're part of their work is actually working with people and working with people to produce results. So they're just coming in to do the paperwork and also learn new set of skills to be able to do it much more consciously, much more competently, and so on and so forth. So we have a stream of people who are actually coming in, and they are part of the resources that we can actually be able to deploy when we actually work with organization in terms of coaching and in that space.
Yeah.
So I think we have given the coaching quite a bit of.
I want to say that there are companies now gradually interested in mass coaching. That means we coach the whole leadership team. I personally, myself, I have done at least 5 mass coaching projects that ranges from 80 sessions to 400 sessions, where assemble a team of coaches, all certified, accredited, and they basically, we have a concerted effort and using the same methodology to actually support the clients. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Training and facilitation is still in demand, I would say. I would say that there are more and more business and team facilitation because a lot of change has to happen at the team level rather than the individual level. So while you can coach at the leadership or individual level, sometimes it is faster to actually address a team dynamic in order to drive results in a more accelerated manner. So business and team facilitation is something that we kind of do quite often. Like in the coming week, I have a facilitation to conduct to actually bring the whole leadership team together to iron out certain elephant in the room that they are not confident to iron out on their own. Yeah, so all these are drawbacks or blockage from performing in today's world, and time is lost if they don't address it. Yeah, and leadership development, of course, is in forms of experiential workshops, and employee development in terms of employee skill sets like competency, capabilities development.
Yeah, so certainly this is one of those things that I don't get a lot of chance to do in my work with our MNCs, even though sometimes they ask me to go into a meeting, a boardroom meeting, to give my perspective about some things and to to shape a certain way of looking at things. But I guess what you are asked to do to bring a group of people together and have very difficult conversations. And that's certainly a complex skill set, which is you're going in, is actually a sauna, a sauna room, a cooking pot right now, and at the end to be able to move things 10% or 15% better, rather than going to a situation where people, create more toxicity in the organization and so forth, sabotaging and politicking and so on and so forth. Part of that, of the work that you have done is actually to facilitate strategic conversations with different strong people in the room. And I certainly can respect that. It's a very, I call it very nasty work.
Well, I follow your advice, Barney. You say trust the process.
Excellent. I'm just wired up in a slightly different way. I want to say, tell me exactly where you want to go, who are the people that you have. Let me look at your capabilities, come up with a plan, and get your people equipped to move forward. So that's kind of my thing, the thing that I would love to do. Anyway, so we all bring in different, not only just both of us, we have a team right now coming to close to about 9 to 10 people, all with different backgrounds from different industries to be able to bring all of this work together. And we have a common lingo. The lingo is actually NLP, Enneagram. And also, I guess, this notion about how do we actually bring forth the better version of ourselves whenever we show up.